The second plate was already on the table when my phone finally lit up. Not a call, a message. Adrian. Mom, I don't think I can make it. I stared at the words until they stopped looking like language and started looking like a door closing. My hand stayed on the edge of the table. The plate was warm from the dishwasher. The fork was aligned the way I always did it. Straight, polite, hopeful. I typed back me, okay. Just that one word, because I'd learned something about silence. If you use it carefully, it can sound like strength even when it's grief. The kitchen smelled like cinnamon and butter. The tree lights blinked like they didn't know any better. The house was dressed for company that didn't exist. I sat down anyway. The chair across from me sat empty, like it had been trained. On the counter, the ham I'd been glazing cooled too quickly. The radio played a cheerful song that felt like it was mocking me softly. I opened the message again, read it again, like the sentence might change if I stared long enough. Adrian, I don't think I can make it. No reason, no apology, just a clean exit. My throat tightened the way it always did when he pulled away, slowly, politely, like he was trying not to disturb anything while he disappeared. I looked at the clock, 6:42 p.m., Christmas Eve, and I realized something that frightened me more than the loneliness. I wasn't surprised. I leaned back, pressed my palm to my chest, and breathed through a tightness I didn't want to name. Then the doorbell rang. One sharp sound. A stranger could have been outside, a neighbor, a delivery, anyone. My heart jumped like it remembered a different version of my life, one where Adrian showed up without warning and laughed at my overreaction. I stood too fast, dizzy for a second, and steadied myself on the chair. The doorbell rang again. I walked toward the front door. Each step felt like a question. I opened it. It wasn't Adrian. It was Mrs. Patel from next door, holding a foil-covered tray like she was offering a truce between the world and my kitchen. Her eyes flicked past me into the hallway, searching. Still cooking like an army? She asked gently. I smiled the way people smile when they're trying to hide a bruise. Old habits, I said. She held up the tray. Extra sweets. My grandson's on a sugar strike. I'm rehoming them. I took the tray. It was warm. Thank you, I said. Her gaze softened. He coming? I didn't answer immediately. That pause said everything. Mrs. Patel didn't push. She only nodded slowly, like she'd guessed the ending before I'd finished speaking. Well, she said, forcing lightness. More for you then, and if you need anything, I'm fine. I said it too quickly. She heard the lie, but let it stand. When she left, the porch light reflected on the empty driveway. No headlights, no tire tracks. I closed the door and rested my forehead against it for a second. I whispered, mostly to myself, it's okay. But my house didn't answer. I carried the tray to the kitchen and set it down beside the second plate, like it belonged there. Then I stared at the chair across from me, and I remembered the first Christmas he didn't come. It hadn't started with distance. It had started with a question, a quiet one. A question I didn't know would become the crack that split everything. Adrian, 2 years ago, why didn't you tell me about Dad's account? Me? What account? Adrian, don't do that. Don't act like you don't know. I'd been holding a dish towel then too. I remember because my fingers twisted it like I was wringing out a flood. Me, Adrian, I didn't hide anything from you. He'd looked at me like he wanted to believe me, but couldn't afford to. Adrian, then why did I find statements with your name on them? That was the moment I should have sat him down. That was the moment I should have said the truth plainly. Instead, I said the thing that felt safest, the thing that felt like control. Me, it's not what you think. And he had stared at me and replied with a calm that still haunts me. Adrian, you always say that. I lifted my phone now, thumb hovering over his contact. Call him, beg him, ask. But I didn't, because part of me still believed the mother should be the mountain, not the wind. I set the phone down. I took the second plate and carried it to the sink. Not to wash it, just to move it. Like moving it would make it hurt less. The house stayed quiet. And in that quiet, something inside me whispered a question I hadn't allowed myself to ask. What if this Christmas really was the last one? I pressed my hand to my chest again and swallowed hard. Then I did the only thing I still knew how to do. I started preparing dinner for someone who wasn't coming, because waiting had become my religion. The next morning, sunlight hit the living room floor in thin stripes, like the blinds were trying to divide my life into pieces I could manage. I woke up on the couch. I don't remember lying down. I only remember the tightness in my chest easing slightly after midnight, and the way the tree lights blurred when I stared too long. I sat up slowly. My phone was still on the coffee table. No new messages, no missed calls. I stared at it like it was a living thing that had refused to breathe. Then it buzzed once, a notification. Not from Adrian, from Maya, my daughter. In-law. Maya, Merry Christmas. Hope you're okay. That was it. Short, clean, safe. I read it twice, trying to find warmth in the space between the words. I typed back, me, Merry Christmas. Then I added, then deleted, then added again, me is Adrian, okay? I stared at the screen. Sent the little checkmark appeared. Too final. I stood and walked into the kitchen. The ham sat untouched in the fridge. The table still had one place setting now. One plate, one fork. I didn't sit at the table. Instead, I made coffee and drank it standing up, like I didn't deserve comfort. Then my landline rang. I hadn't heard that sound in weeks. I almost didn't answer. Only telemarketers and hospitals used that line. I picked up. Hello, a familiar voice. Mom. My hand tightened around the receiver. Adrian, I breathed. He didn't say Merry Christmas. He didn't say I'm sorry. He sounded careful, like he was stepping around glass. Adrian, you okay? I should have said the truth. I should have said number. I should have said, I set a table for you and ate alone. I should have said, I dreamed you were a child again and woke up to silence. Instead, I'm fine. Silence. Then he exhaled, like he'd expected that answer, and still hated it. Adrian, Maya said you didn't call. Me, I didn't want to bother you. Adrian, you're my mother. Me, and you're busy. That last line came out sharper than I meant it to. There was a pause. He heard it. I heard it. He lowered his voice. Adrian, Mom, I can't do this the way you want. My throat tightened. Me, the way I want? Adrian, the waiting, the guilt, the silence that's supposed to teach me a lesson? I laughed once. Small, bitter, surprised. Me. You think I'm punishing you, Adrian, aren't you? I closed my eyes, because suddenly I wasn't 68. I was a young woman again, trying to keep a house upright, while grief sat on its roof. Me. No, I said. I'm surviving you, he swallowed. I could hear it. Adrian, Mom, I'm not the enemy. Me? Then why do I feel like I'm always losing? He didn't answer, and I realized he called not to come. He called to check a box, to soothe something in himself. Adrian, I just wanted to hear your voice. My chest squeezed again, sharper this time. Me? Then come. It slipped out. Simple. Honest. He went quiet. Then, Adrian, I can't. Me. Why? He hesitated. I could almost see him looking toward Maya, toward his life, toward the reasons he'd built. Adrian, it's complicated. I wanted to scream. Instead, I asked softly, Me, is it still about the money? Another pause longer. He didn't deny it. Adrian, you never explained. Me, you never listened. Adrian, I listened. You just talk around things. My grip on the receiver tightened until my knuckles hurt. Me, I was trying to protect you? Adrian, from what? The truth. I opened my mouth, but no sound came because the truth had always been heavier than love. Because the truth was tied to his father, and his father had been tied to everything. His father, my husband, who died with unfinished sentences and promises that became paperwork. Adrian spoke again, quieter. Adrian, Mom, What did Dad leave? I stared at the wall, at the framed photo of Adrian as a teenager, grin wide, arm around his father's shoulders. He left you his name, I said. And he left me the mess. His breathing changed. Adrian, that's not fair. I swallowed. Neither was dying. Silence again. He finally said, Adrian, I didn't call to fight. Then why did you call? He took a long breath. Adrian, because I dreamed you were alone. My eyes burned. For a second, I almost forgave everything. Then he added, like he couldn't stop himself, Adrian. And because I need to know what you're doing with the house. There it was, not love. Property. My stomach turned. I kept my voice steady. I'm living in it. Adrian, for now. That phrase, for now, like my life had an expiration date. I felt something in me harden. Not into cruelty, but into clarity. Adrian, I said, calm now. Your father didn't build this house for you to claim. He built it for us to live. He scoffed softly, Adrian. You say that like you didn't put your name on everything. I closed my eyes because I had. Because his father asked me to. Because after his diagnosis, he grabbed my hand and said, husband years ago, if anything happens, make sure you're not left begging. I hadn't told Adrian that part. I hadn't told him how fear made decisions for all of us. Adrian's voice softened, almost pleading. Adrian, Mom, just tell me what's going on, please. I could have, right then, I could have said your father had a separate account for medical bills and repairs and emergencies because he was terrified of leaving us exposed. I could have said, I moved money because I didn't trust myself not to fall apart. I could have said, the statements you found were because the bank required my signature after his death. But I didn't say any of it because something in me was tired of being questioned like a suspect, tired of being measured against a dead man. So I said the thing that changed everything, if you can't come because of this, then don't come. He went still, Adrian. Mom, I'm not going to beg you to love me. His voice cracked slightly. Adrian, that's not what. Then what is it? He didn't answer. And I realized he didn't have one. He only had feelings he couldn't carry, and questions he used as armor. I set my jaw. Merry Christmas, Adrian. Adrian, Mom, wait. I hung up. Not with anger, with a quiet finality that scared even me. The receiver clicked into place, and the house swallowed the sound. I leaned on the counter, breathing shallowly. My chest ached again. I pressed my palm there and whispered, not today, because I could feel the edge of something. Not sadness, something sharper, something physical. I sat down in the chair across from the empty one and stared at the second plate still in the cabinet. Then a knock came at the door. Not the bell, a knock, slow, careful. Like whoever it was didn't want to startle me. I stood, uneasy, and opened it. A young man held a small envelope, delivery. He checked his clipboard. Package for? He looked down. Mrs. Eleanor Hayes. That's me. He handed it over and left. I closed the door and stared at the envelope. No return address. Only my name. My hands trembled slightly as I opened it. Inside was a key and a note. Written in Adrian's handwriting, 2 lines. I'm not coming, but I'm not leaving you either. I stared at the key. A key to what? My phone buzzed again. A message from Maya. Maya, he's not okay. Please don't push him today. I read it, then I read it again. Don't push him, as if my loneliness was pressure. As if my waiting was a weapon. I set the note and key down. Then I walked to the hallway closet. I pulled out a shoebox I hadn't opened in years. Inside were letters, bank papers, receipts, and a sealed envelope with Adrian's name on it. I'd written it months ago. Not because I planned to die, because I was tired of being misunderstood. I held that envelope in my hands. My hand shook. My chest tightened again, sharper. I sat on the floor and leaned against the wall, breathing through it. And in that moment, I understood the cruelest part of regret. You don't feel it when you're young. You feel it when time starts answering for you. I looked at the envelope. Then I looked toward the living room, where the tree lights blinked quietly, and I made a decision. If Adrian wouldn't come to me, then at least the truth would, even if it arrived too late. The envelope sat on the kitchen table like a guest that refused to speak. I spent the afternoon moving through the house, touching things that no longer felt like mine. The hallway picture frames. The worn rug Adrian used to sprawl on when he was a kid. The scratch on the doorframe where his height had been measured every birthday. I ran my fingers over the mark for 12. And my throat tightened because he'd grown past that. Past me. Past this house. My phone didn't ring again. No call, no follow. Up only that key. Only that note. I tried to eat. I couldn't. The tightness in my chest returned in waves. Like the body has its own calendar and refuses to ignore it. When evening came, Mrs. Patel knocked again. This time she didn't bring sweets. She brought concern. "Your lights were still on," she said, peering at my face. "You look pale." "I'm fine," I said automatically. She stepped inside anyway, like she'd earned that right after years of shared fences and polite waves. Her eyes flicked to the untouched food, then to the tree, then back to me. "He didn't come," she said, not a question. I didn't answer. I didn't need to. Mrs. Patel sat at my table without waiting to be invited. She looked at the envelope with Adrian's name. "What's that?" she asked. "Something I should have given him earlier," I said. She nodded slowly. "Why didn't you?" I opened my mouth, then closed it again. Because how do you explain the kind of pride that looks like dignity until it becomes loneliness? I said quietly. I thought I had more time. Mrs. Patel's face softened. She reached across the table and touched my hand. "Time doesn't negotiate," she said. My eyes burned. I looked away, and that's when the tightness in my chest sharpened into something else. Something cold. I inhaled, and it felt like breathing through cloth. Mrs. Patel noticed immediately. "Eleanor," she said sharply. "Are you?" "I'm okay," I lied. She stood. "Sit, now." I tried to stand too fast, and the room tilted. I grabbed the edge of the table. The envelope slid a little. Mrs. Patel's voice rose. "I'm calling someone." "No," I said, too firm. "Don't." She looked at me like she wanted to argue, but then she saw my face. That moment when a person stops being stubborn and starts being afraid. She lowered her phone slightly. "Who do you want me to call?" she asked. My mouth opened, and one name came, almost against my will. "Adrian." Her eyes widened, then she nodded once. "Okay," she called. "Put it on speaker." It rang once. Twice. Then Maya answered. "Hello?" Mrs. Patel kept her voice calm. "This is Mrs. Patel. I'm Eleanor's neighbor. She's not feeling well." A pause, then Maya's voice sharpened, worried. "What do you mean not feeling well?" I tried to take the phone, but Mrs. Patel held it away gently. Mrs. Patel looked at me. "Tell her." I swallowed. My voice came out small. "Hi, Maya." Maya's breath caught. "Oh my God, Eleanor, what's happening?" "I'm fine," I said. Mrs. Patel gave me a look that could cut glass. Maya didn't believe me. "Is Adrian there?" Mrs. Patel asked. A pause. "Then he went out," Maya said. "Where?" Mrs. Patel demanded. Maya hesitated. He went for a drive." Mrs. Patel's voice rose. "Get him back now." Maya's tone shifted, defensive but scared. Okay, What do you need? Do you want an ambulance? I heard the word and felt my stomach drop. No procedures, no drama, just fear. I don't want strangers, I whispered. Mrs. Patel squeezed my hand. Maya spoke urgently. Eleanor, please. I breathed through the tightness, eyes closed. Then I said the truth I'd been avoiding. I don't want to be alone. Silence. Then Maya's voice softened into something human. You're not alone, she said. I'm calling him. I'm calling him right now. Mrs. Patel ended the call. The room spun slightly. I sat down, slowly, carefully. Mrs. Patel stood near me like a guard. You should lie down, she said. I don't want to, I whispered. Why? Because if I lay down, something in me feared I wouldn't get back up. Because the house had been waiting for a final scene. I looked at the envelope again. Can you? My voice shook. Can you put that in the mailbox? Mrs. Patel frowned. Mail now? I don't trust myself, I said. She looked at me for a long second. Then she nodded. Okay, she said gently. But you're coming with me. We're walking, fresh air. I wanted to say no, but my pride had already cost me too much. So I stood. Slowly. Mrs. Patel walked beside me as we stepped out into the cold evening. The neighborhood was quiet, warm windows glowing like other people's lives were intact. We reached the mailbox at the corner. Mrs. Patel held the envelope, waiting. You sure? She asked. I nodded. She slipped it in. The metal door clicked shut, and something inside me broke. Quietly, because that envelope was the closest thing to an apology I knew how to give. We walked back. Halfway, my phone buzzed. A message. From Adrian. Adrian. Mom, I'm coming. I stopped walking. Mrs. Patel turned to me. I stared at the screen. Don't, I typed, then deleted it. I typed me, drive safe. That was all, because I didn't want him rushing out of guilt. I wanted him arriving out of choice. Back inside the house, Mrs. Patel helped me sit on the couch. She stayed for a while, watching me like she didn't trust the quiet. Then she finally said, I'll check on you in an hour. If he's not here, I'm calling someone else. I nodded, too tired to argue. When she left, the house became a breathing thing again, quiet and heavy. I sat on the couch and stared at the tree. The lights blinked steadily, like a heartbeat. Minutes passed. Then another wave of tightness hit my chest. Stronger. I leaned forward, breathing shallowly. My fingers clutched the cushion, and I thought of Adrian at 7 years old, racing down the stairs on Christmas morning, yelling, Adrian, child. Mom, did Santa come? I remembered laughing then, real laughter. The kind that filled a house. I whispered into the empty room. Yes, baby, he came. My phone buzzed a call. Adrian, I answered. Adrian. His voice was strained like he was driving too fast. Adrian, Mom, I'm 40 minutes out. I exhaled slowly. Okay, Adrian. Are you sick? I hesitated. Then I told the truth in the smallest way possible. I'm tired. He swallowed audibly. Adrian. Mom, I closed my eyes. Just come, I whispered. He paused. Then he said something that didn't sound like a man talking to his mother. It sounded like a boy realizing the world doesn't wait. Adrian, please don't go to sleep. I forced a small smile even though he couldn't see it. I'll stay up, I said. But my body didn't agree after the call. I sat there, breathing slowly. My eyelids felt heavy, my chest hurt. I told myself, stay awake. Just until you hear the door. Just until he walks in. Just until you see him. I looked toward the front hallway. The front door stood still. The house held its breath. And then, quietly, without drama, my strength faded. Not like a movie. Like a candle. I leaned back against the couch. My hand slid from my chest to my lap. And the last thought that moved through me was not anger. It was not betrayal. It was simple. I hope he knows I loved him. I didn't hear the door. I didn't hear the footsteps. I didn't hear the keys. What I heard, later in memory, was the sound Adrian made when a person's world falls through itself. Not a scream, not a dramatic cry, a broken inhale, a sound like a man trying to breathe and failing. Adrian's voice didn't come from my mouth anymore. It came from him, from his side of the story, because by the time he arrived, the waiting was over. The first thing Adrian saw was the table, one plate, one cup, one chair pushed in neatly. The second chair still across from it, empty like always. He called out softly, "Mom?" No answer. He walked down the hallway, his shoes quiet on the rug. He saw the tree lights blinking. He saw the living room, and then he saw me on the couch. Still, peaceful, in the cruelest way. His hands shook as he stepped closer. "Mom," he whispered again, then louder, "Mom." Silence. He dropped to his knees beside the couch like the floor had pulled him down. His fingers touched my hand, cold. He pulled it to his forehead, and his voice cracked. "I'm here," he said. "I'm here, okay, I'm here." But arrival doesn't rewind time, it only proves what you missed. Mrs. Patel came when she heard the car door slam. She found him kneeling, his face pressed to my hand, his shoulders shaking silently. She knelt beside him, not touching him at first, just being there. Adrian looked up at her like a child. "She didn't wait," he whispered, voice hollow. "She didn't wait." Mrs. Patel's eyes filled. "She waited," she said softly. "She waited longer than anyone should." Adrian's face tightened like he was trying to deny the math. "No," he said. "No, she always waits." Mrs. Patel said nothing because sometimes silence is the only honest thing left. Adrian's gaze flicked to the kitchen table. He noticed the missing envelope. He looked at Mrs. Patel. "What did she?" His voice trembled. "Did she leave anything?" Mrs. Patel swallowed hard. "She mailed something," she said quietly. "For you." Adrian stared at her. "Mailed," he repeated, like he didn't understand the word. Mrs. Patel nodded once. Adrian's throat bobbed. "Of course she did," he whispered bitterly. "Even in the end, she couldn't just say it to my face." Mrs. Patel's expression tightened, gentle but firm. "She tried," she said. "You weren't here." Adrian flinched. That sentence hit him like a slap without a hand. Maya arrived an hour later, face pale, hair thrown back hastily, eyes searching the room for a version of reality that didn't exist. When she saw Adrian, she ran to him. "Adrian," she whispered. He didn't look at her at first. His eyes stayed on the couch, on me. Like if he looked away, I'd vanish completely. Maya crouched beside him. "I'm so sorry," she said. Adrian finally turned to her. His voice was quiet, dangerous in its calm. "She texted me," he said. "She didn't beg. She didn't threaten. She just waited." Maya swallowed. "I told you to go," she whispered. Adrian's jaw tightened. "I know." He looked down at his hands. "They're shaking," he said, almost confused. "They won't stop." Maya took his hand. He let her. Then he said something that sounded like the truth finally reaching him. She was alone. Maya's eyes filled. "She wasn't alone," she said quickly, "Mrs. Patel." Adrian shook his head. "Not that kind of alone," he said. Maya went still. Because she understood. Alone isn't about bodies. It's about being unseen. 2 days later, the mail arrived. A plain envelope, my handwriting on the front. Adrian held it like it weighed more than paper. Maya stood beside him at the kitchen counter. Mrs. Patel sat quietly at the table, hands folded. Adrian's fingers trembled as he tore it open. Inside were 3 things: A letter, a bank statement, a second key. Adrian unfolded the letter first. His eyes moved slowly, reading. His face changed line by line. Maya watched him, worried. Mrs. Patel stared at the table, giving him privacy without leaving. Adrian's lips parted as he read a sentence that broke him. He whispered it aloud without realizing. Adrian, I wasn't hiding money from you. I was hiding fear. His voice cracked. He kept reading. Tears fell silently, not like drama, like gravity. He reached the part where I wrote about his father, about the account, about the day his father grabbed my hand and told me not to end up begging. Adrian swallowed hard. He read out loud again, voice trembling. Adrian, he asked me to protect myself because he couldn't protect me anymore. Adrian's shoulders shook. Maya reached for his arm. He didn't pull away. He read the last paragraph. His lips moved silently first. Then he spoke. Adrian, I'm sorry I used the house as an excuse to stay away. I was afraid if I came, you'd see how small I still feel. He stopped. He covered his mouth like he couldn't contain the sound building inside him. Maya's eyes filled. Mrs. Patel closed her eyes. Adrian folded the letter slowly, carefully, like he was trying not to damage the last thing I gave him. Then he looked at the second key. What's this? Maya whispered. Adrian opened the small paper attached to it. A note in my handwriting. This key is for the cedar box in my closet. The one you used to hide your report cards in? Open it when you're ready. Adrian's face tightened. He stood abruptly and walked to the hallway closet. He opened it, found the cedar box. His hands shook as he unlocked it. Inside were old photos, a small knitted scarf he wore as a child, a handful of Christmas ornaments with his name written in faded ink, and a sealed envelope labeled, "For the Christmas you finally came." Adrian stared at it. Maya's voice was barely audible. Open it. Adrian's fingers trembled as he broke the seal. Inside was a single page, not long. Just a few lines. He read it silently. Then he read it again. His face crumpled. He whispered the last line aloud. Adrian, some love does not wait forever. He sank onto the floor, back against the closet wall, letter pressed to his chest. Maya knelt beside him. She didn't say, "It's okay," because it wasn't. She only said the honest thing, Maya. I'm here. Adrian nodded once, barely. Then he whispered, as if talking to me through the walls of time, Adrian, I didn't know you'd stop waiting. In the weeks that followed, Adrian didn't become a new man overnight. Grief doesn't fix you, it exposes you. He handled the house not like a prize, but like a responsibility. He didn't sell it immediately. He walked through rooms like he was apologizing to the air. He found the second plate I'd put away. He took it out and placed it on the table, beside the first. Then he sat alone one evening and whispered, I came. No one answered, but something in him finally did. On Christmas the next year, Adrian didn't wait for a special reason. He drove to the house early. He carried groceries. He hung the ornaments with his name. He placed a small candle by the window. Maya stood behind him quietly. You okay? She asked. Adrian nodded, swallowing. No, he said honestly, but I'm here. Maya squeezed his shoulder. He sat at the table, 2 plates. He didn't eat much, but he stayed. He stayed until the silence stopped feeling like punishment and started feeling like memory. And when he finally spoke, he didn't speak to the room. He spoke to the choice he'd been avoiding his whole life. Adrian, I'm not doing that anymore. Maya tilted her head. Doing what? He stared at the second chair. Using time like it belongs to me, he said. If you're listening to my story now, I want you to understand something I didn't understand soon enough. Waiting feels like love. Silence feels like dignity. But sometimes they are just fear dressed up in polite clothing, and fear is expensive. It costs years. It costs words. It costs endings. You can't rewrite. If I could speak from that last Christmas, I wouldn't say anything complicated. I wouldn't explain the bank accounts. I wouldn't defend myself. I would say one sentence. The sentence that might have changed everything. Come home. I miss you. Because love isn't proven by how long you can wait. Love is proven by how quickly you choose people while you still. And that Christmas, the one that ended everything, was the one that finally taught my son the truth. Not that I stopped loving him, but that life does not wait, even when a mother does.